here to be re-sworn in this evening.
I'm not.
I know. Hmm?
You're not even looking at me.
So here you go. So and perfect. They are in order. So here,
You're down there, but
yeah. So Mayor,
you had the seat of honor.
you've got Daniels is first, and then Rhonda's is right underneath his. Okay. Well, we ready?
That's
Okay.
your voice or show?
Mr. Allen.
And I have still fighting the cold, so.
You're just gonna stand here with me and repeat.
Just want to give you a sense.
But you should raise your right hand. That's official.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is the oath of office for board, commission, authority appointees. Mr. Allen, if you repeat after me, I, Daniel Ray Allen,
I, Daniel Ray Allen,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
and affirm that I will honestly and faithfully perform the duties of a member of the Development Authority of the City of Forest Park. Do solemnly
swear
and
and
affirm
affirm
that I will honestly and faithfully
faithfully
perform the duties of a member of the Development Authority
the Development Authority
of the City of Forest Park.
of the City of Forest Park.
I further swear that I am not
I further swear that I am not
the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state
the holder of any public money due to the state
or any political subdivision or authority thereof,
or any political subdivision or authority thereof,
that I'm not the holder of any office
that I'm not the holder of any office
of trust under the government of the United States,
of trust under the government of the United States,
any other state,
any other state,
or any foreign state
or any foreign state,
for which I am by the laws of the state of Georgia prohibited,
for which I am by the laws for the state of Georgia prohibited,
that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and the laws of Georgia,
and the laws of Georgia.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and this state,
and this state,
and observe the provisions of the Charter
and preserve the provisions of the Charter
and Code of Ordinances of the City of Forest Park.
and Code of Ordinances of the City of Forest Park.
So help me God,
So help me God.
or so I affirm this 25th day of February 2026.
Or so I affirm this 25th day of February 2026. There you go, Blue.
I'll do whatever color you're using.
So,
25th.
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 Go ahead. Sign here. Probably got cleaned in there. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Miss Wright.
Here.
Oh, we got two rights, don't we? Okay, Rhonda Wright, you're the first one. Right. Oath of office for board, commission, authority appointees. I, Rhonda Wright,
I, Rhonda Wright,
do solemnly swear and affirm
I do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will honestly and faithfully
I will honestly and faithfully
perform the duties of a member
perform the duties of a member
of the Development Authority of the City of Forest Park.
of the Development Authority of the City of Forest Park.
I further swear that I am not the holder
I further swear that I'm not the holder
of any unaccounted public money due this state
any accounted money due to state
or any political subdivision or authority thereof,
or any political subdivision or authority of.
that I am not the holder of any office
I'm not the holder of any office
of trust under the government of the United States,
of trust of any government of the United States,
any other state,
any other state,
or any foreign state
or any foreign state
for which I am by the laws of the state of Georgia prohibited.
for which I'm the state of any laws of Georgia which are prohibited.
That I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
And otherwise, that I am otherwise
qualified to hold
qualified to hold
said
a
office
set of office
according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia.
according to the Constitution, the laws of Georgia.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and this state
and this state
and observe the provisions of the charter
and observe the provisions of the charter
and code of ordinances of the city of Forest Park.
and the code of ordinances of the city of Forest Park.
So help me God,
So help me God.
or so I affirm this 25th day of February 2026.
So affirm this 25th day, 2026.
Thank you. All right, just do that. 25. Signature. Like that. Can't read. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, Miss Lois Wright. Put your right hand. Oath of office for board, commission, authority appointees. I, Lois Wright,
I, Lois Wright,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will honestly and faithfully
that I will honestly and faithfully
perform the duties of a member
to perform the duties as a member
of the Development Authority of the City of Forest Park.
of the Development Authority of the City of Forest Park.
I further swear that I am not
I further swear that I am not
the holder of any unaccounted public money
the holder of any unaccounted public monies
due this state or any political subdivision
due this state or any other political subdivisions
or authority thereof,
or authority thereof,
that I am not the holder of any office
that I am not the holder of any office
of trust under the government of the United States,
of trust under the government of the United States,
any other state,
any other state,
or any foreign state from which I am by the laws of the state of Georgia prohibited, of any foreign state
of any foreign state
from which I am by the laws
for which I am by the laws
of the state of Georgia prohibited,
of the state of Georgia prohibited,
that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and the laws of Georgia,
and the laws of Georgia,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and this state,
and this state,
and observe the provisions of the charter
and observe the provisions of the charter
and code of ordinances of the city of Forest Park.
and code of ordinance of City of Forest Park.
So help me God,
So help me God,
or so I affirm this 25th day of February 2026.
or so I affirm this 25th day of February 2026.
Congratulations. Okay. Go ahead. 25 in there. Sign your name there. Okay, I'm giving you the wrong way, wasn't
And for 25th.
Yes, ma'am. Gonna sign it and hand it over to them? Yes, ma'am. I'll turn it the other way.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
6:30, 5:32? 5:32, thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the new members. Welcome to the not so new, to some of the OGs that kind of started this. Welcome back. This is the Development Authority meeting for Wednesday, February 25th of 2026. Let's do a roll call. And also, I know that you all think that I'm elected official and I know all of the Robert's rules, but I'm a rookie at this. So if anybody at any point I make a mistake, please help me and correct me.
To start the roll call, Chairman Hector Gutierrez,
Present.
Mr. Alvin Payton, Daniel Ray Allen, Felicia Davis, Victoria Williams, Louis Wright, Rhonda Wright. Thank you.
All right. So
Madam, sorry. Chairman, you have a quorum.
thank you. Let's take a look at the agenda and see if we have any additions or deletions.
Councilman Gutierrez, I do have one change to the agenda, and that would be number 6, the 2026 landscape scope of work. I'm asking that we pull that from the agenda. We will bring this back to you in full at the March meeting.
What are you wearing? Why? That's not one. I'm sorry. Victoria came in with a North Clayton hoodie, jacket. And North Clayton, the rivals here at school, so Forest Park. They've been beating us for a few years. All right. So is there any we said we are postponing, do we need a vote for that? To postpone the subject 6, 2026 landscape scope of work and economic development. So can we get a motion to what's the official word?
Delete
To delete
item 6.
Yep.
From the agenda.
from the agenda, to delete item 6 from the agenda.
I motion that we delete item 6 from the agenda to later, for later date.
Okay. So we have a motion by Ms. Wright.
I say motion on the agenda for later day.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Second, all in favor? Aye. All right, so number 6 is out. Let's take a look at our minutes. Our next line item is taking a look at our minutes from last meeting. I know we have some new members, so if you need more time, or we also need to postpone this approval of these minutes for the next meeting, it's understandable as well, but yeah. And if we're good with these minutes, we can just motion to approve the minutes from the January 21st meeting.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Okay, we got a motion from Ms. Williams, second from Ms. Rhonda Wright. All in favor? Okay. All right, so our first legal update is the 2026 Development Authority Board Vice Chair election. So how do we move forward with this, Kirby?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, at our last meeting, as is required by our bylaws, we held our election of officers, and we had trying to remember now, maybe look at the minutes, but did we postpone the election of the?
We did.
Yeah, we postponed the election, waiting to see if Mr. Patton would be willing to serve as vice chair again. We understand Mr. Patton does not want to serve as vice chair this year. So we need to open up the floor for nominations for vice chair and elect a vice chair going forward this evening.
All right, so yeah, Mr. Patton, thank you for everything you've done for our board serving. And he has informed us, yeah, he will not be continuing, so we will let it go for the city for a new nomination for another Development Authority person. No, but I think Rochelle, we're gonna get him something to, show our appreciation to him.
Yeah, it's
Thank
already
you.
in the mail.
So are there any nominations?
The vice chair.
All right, we have one nomination.
Rhonda Wright.
Okay, so we have the two rights, the battle of the rights for the vice chair. We have Miss Rhonda Wright and Miss Lois have been nominated. Do we need seconds for the nominations?
You should for the nomination. And so you have one nomination, Ms. Wright has nominated herself. Does that have a second?
I'll second it. Can I second? Okay.
Yeah, second for the nomination. Yeah. Okay.
Second vote. You can't show a right preference.
At this point, someone should move to close the nominations if there are no other nominations.
Wait, there-
Yeah, but somebody has to close. Okay, I'm going to close the nominations. Okay. Motion second.
All in favor? Aye.
All
All right. So about,
Chairman, in whatever order you so choose, we need to have a vote on the two nominees. So
okay. We'll go by proximity. I guess all in favor for Miss Rhonda Wright being the vice chair? Say aye. Aye, too. Do I vote as well? Okay. Aye. I'm good with Rhonda. Okay.
Yeah, you ain't vote for me.
Yeah, he just got here. It's okay, Mr. Allen. You're doing good.
don't know.
He don't know you.
Right.
And it seemed like it was already a three.
He said, I already gave you the second. No, you're good.
the majority would carry and it will be the
Oh, so we don't go by person. It's either or. Oh, got you. Makes sense. Makes sense. You only get one vote. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations, Ms. Wright. All right.
I'm remembering I see your taxes.
Jesus. Yeah. All right. We gotta let the rookies come on, Miss Wright. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Wright. All right, number 3. Let's next are we good with number 2, Kirby?
yeah, we're number 2.
All right, so let's the review and approval of the Development Authority agenda policy under economic development.
Mhm. And I'm going to tag team this with Attorney Glaze. So in your packet, kind of midway in your packet, I think it's page like 8 or 9, there is a policies and procedures of the Development Authority of the City of Forest Park regarding agendas and agenda packets. And it looks like this. So everybody see that? And then there's also a schedule behind it. I'm going to give a little bit of background history about how we came to this. So to continue to streamline our office as well as the efficiency of our authorities. You see it? Yep. There you go. Just coming up with an internal schedule to hold us, your Office of Economic Development, as well as the board authorities, to a set schedule to produce our agenda, allowing for timeliness and completion, time for the board chair, as well as our attorney to review it after staff has put it together. And so really what we're saying with this is that any board member may request an item be placed on the agenda for the upcoming meeting. The request should be directed to the secretary of the authority, which is Ms. DeValda, no later than 3 p.m. of Monday of the week before the meeting. That member that is making the request is also responsible for providing our office at least one copy of any material that you want the board to consider no later than 3 p.m. Again, the Monday before the meeting. Again, allowing time for staff to put the agenda together entirely, for our attorney as well as our chair to review it. And again, timely production and getting it up on the city website. And then once we post the agenda, it can only be amended by a majority vote of a quorum of the board at a duly called meeting at the time of the adoption of the agenda for such meeting as we did this evening. Attorney Glaze?
Yeah, if I could just add to that, the real underlying reason for this, Georgia law under the Open Meetings Act requires that the board make available to the public an agenda of what's going to be on their meeting. The law says that you can do it at any time up to 2 weeks in advance. We don't want to do it 2 weeks in advance. Doesn't give you a limit. In other words, you could do it an hour before, but obviously the purpose of it is so the citizens of Forest Park can see whatever the board is going to be talking about, decide if they wish to come to that meeting, participate in that meeting in any way. What we're attempting to do is to give at least 24 hours notice to the general public by posting it on the website, as well as having a copy available at City Hall if anybody wants to pick it up. In order to do that, though, it just was pointed out, we gotta know what's on the agenda. So we need to have a deadline for board members to request items to go on the agenda. Staff will put items on the agenda that they know are ready for consideration. And then that needs to be circulated and sent out to me, to the chairman, to review, as well as then have it ready to go out to you as board members. The goal in this is to hopefully get you all the information far enough in advance of the meeting that you have time to review these packets, so that when you get to the meeting, you know exactly what it is that we're going to be discussing, exactly what's under consideration. It's not to preclude any board member from adding something to the agenda, but to do that, you'll need to get the support of the majority of the board at the meeting to amend the agenda. So any questions about why we're doing it, or the policy, or the procedures, or how we're doing it?
I love this. I just think it adds more value to the board members. You all are all board members of the Development Authority of Forest Park, so you have the authority to bring things forward to the city for consideration for us as an authority. So I hope that you all take advantage of that privilege. My question is, I guess, Kirby, is there limitations to things? Like, let's say Mr. Allen meets somebody that is selling solar panels and he wants us to know about it. He sends us the email. So anything we send is going to go on the agenda, or what are some things that wouldn't go?
If it is a matter for discussion or vote. In other words, it doesn't have to go on the agenda if it's for information only. It can be sent to staff and they can distribute it to you as board members. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the agenda if it's just for information. But if it's anything that you're going to discuss or take a vote on, it needs to be on the agenda.
I understand.
And what we're asking of you is that you adopt this as the policy of the board, so that everybody understands going forward, including future board members. This is how you go about setting the agenda.
All right.
So we would need a motion to adopt this as the board policy.
And just before you, if you go to the next page, the staff already has put in the dates for us, so you kind of know these deadlines.
So there, I do want to note that there's a couple of tweaks that need to happen on some of the dates. However, that does not preclude you from approving the policy. So once we finalize and make the necessary tweaks to the dates that are on this schedule, we will send it out to all of you as well. But you can go forward with the adoption of the policy if you choose.
I motion that.
I have another question.
Mhm.
You don't choose to put stuff on the agenda, who does it? Just the chair and somebody else?
Staff.
Oh.
Mhm.
If board member doesn't have a specific matter, staff will certainly be putting those things on the agenda that they know
Yes.
that need to be discussed and considered at
If
any
people
point.
want to come talk to, how that works.
If people want to come, if I can, I'm gonna do my spiel on Georgia's open meetings.
Mhm.
But anyone can come and attend the meeting. If you wish to allow or wish to hear from the general public, then you can have a standing item on your agenda of comments from the public or items from the public. The normal procedure, we didn't cover it in this because we were just trying to do the agenda, is to have anyone who wants to speak to the board when they come to the meeting, sign up so that we know who they're here, here to speak to the board. My suggestion, and it's just that, it's just a suggestion, is that if you wish to do that, you have comments from the public at the beginning of your meeting, not at the end of the meeting. Because if you put it at the beginning of the meeting, they'll come to talk to you about what they came to talk to you about. If you put it at the end of the agenda, they're gonna talk to you about the things they just heard you talk about. But you certainly, if you want to include in this policy that the agenda would have on it a place for public comments, then we certainly can do that.
I think we should.
That would there be a motion to amend the,
Motion to amend the policy to have the agenda include a standing item for public comments.
All right, all in favor?
And then if, unless there's other discussion, then it would be a motion to approve the policy as amended.
Give somebody for the chair. You talk first.
He's trying to let somebody else move. Yeah.
I say that.
All in favor? Aye. So we added public comments and we approved the agenda schedule?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, moving on. We got moving on to old business. We got a project update. Florence on Main, 760, 770 Main Street. Oh, no, there's more?
They're all
Mhm.
the things that we discussed are in that document. To bring you up to date, at the last meeting, we discussed this project, the project on GUCA, and do you have an update on where the plans stand on that? I'm defer to you to.
So GUCA or GUCA, which is the Georgia Utility Contractors Association, we are under contract with them for the sale and development of 794 Main Street, which is the corner lot right next to their current headquarters. If you will remember, the board approved their concept plan several months ago now. We being staff, the Office of Economic Development and Planning and Community Development have had a series of pre-development meetings with them and their team, their entire A&E team. There are about 15 people. At this point, we've provided everything that we can. At this point, everything is the ball's in their court. So what we are waiting for is for them to walk in their actual plans to UDRB and also to the Planning Commission. Once that happens and their plans are approved, then we can go to closing on that property.
And as for the new members here, because this board is as interested in what they're doing with the property as selling, as they are in simply selling property, and to avoid some circumstances we've run into, people acquired property with promises and even recapture provisions and then didn't do, and that came out. What we're now doing is we don't close on the sale of the property until they've pulled their permits with the city, so that it's all planned and we know they're going forward with their work. So as soon as that happens, then we'll close them on this transaction. Escrow money has been paid. The contract is in good standing, so hopefully that'll have to show.
790. Where's that?
That, if you know where the Georgia Utility Contractors offices are.
The old Georgia Power Building.
No,
Not.
You know where Jonesy's place?
Mm-hmm.
Right across the street.
Oh, by Jones's.
Yes, that.
Yeah, that
but
corner.
not the
they
Mhm.
find their existing.
correct.
To expand their offices and
Mhm.
put a training.
And the training facility.
I have a question, Chair.
Mhm.
Just what is what is the development authority in charge of? Is all the city property under the development authority?
No, I can answer that for you real quick, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this a little bit in probably about 5 minutes. But the short answer, so the Development Authority's boundaries cover the entire city of Forest Park. You have about, I want to say 14 unique properties that the Development Authority owns. In terms of ownership of property here in the city, the Development Authority has a relatively small footprint in which you own. I'm sorry?
Owns the other part.
The Downtown Development Authority owns a good bit of property, and then, of course, the Urban Redevelopment Agency.
And there are some properties owned by.
And there are some properties that are owned by the city.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. They don't have to correct me as well. But all the city properties, when the development authority started here, it had all the city properties under its authority.
There were, and you know, because you were chair when I got hired, but I haven't been here the whole time. But in my research, there were a number of properties that the city owned that they transferred to the development authority.
The downtown development.
No, to the development authority, but then a number of those properties were ultimately transferred back to the city. And
How can it be certain? How can the city have properties? Because they're not supposed to buy and sell to itself.
no, they can own property. The city can own property just like it owns the city hall building or park.
So the development authority sold the property to the city.
Some of those properties, and I can't tell you which ones specifically, some of those properties were transferred by the city to the authority, but they took a promissory note. The city took a promissory, in other words, they financed the sale to the authority, and then later the property was transferred back to the city and the promissory note was canceled. The city can own property, but the city can only dispose of property by public auction or public bid. They can't negotiate the sale. The Downtown Development Authority can own property, and the Downtown Development Authority, like the Development Authority, both of those two entities can negotiate the sale of the property. We're required to get a fair value for it, but we can take into consideration such things as what the property is going to be used for. If it's a use that we see as being beneficial to the overall public, that would not generate as much value as a different use might, we can take that into consideration in what we believe to be the fair value of property. An urban redevelopment agency can own property and it can sell property, but before it sells property, it has to put that property up. It has to tell the public that it intends to sell the property and receive and get any proposals from anybody else in the public that may be interested. So each entity has different powers with respect to how they can dispose of property, but all of them can own property. One of those four entities, the city, the development authority, downtown development authority, or the redevelopment agency have the right title to and own property.
That's new when the city owns property.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
Well, no, they've always been able to own it. The difference is, the city's ownership of property has to be for a public purpose. Now, that public purpose may over time, they may buy a piece of property for one purpose and that purpose goes away from that. They can still continue to hold on to that property until they decide to, what they're gonna do with it or decide to dispose of it.
So you saying the city can buy property, buy its own property?
Buy its own property.
Yeah, I think wrong with that. Because that is, now you know, but I know what they said in 2012 when they came here and introduced the development authority, and that is because we didn't have one.
Right.
And the city manager was buying and selling property.
Well, they can't sell. They can't negotiate the sale. They can buy it. The presumption is anytime a city buys property, the presumption is they're buying it for a public purpose. But once they buy it, the only way they can sell it is to either put it up for bid or auction or to sell it to another governmental entity or an authority. They can sell it to the development authority or transfer to the development authority or the downtown development authority, the urban redevelopment agency. You can have intergovernmental transfer of property, but they can't negotiate a private sale. Not ownership, but they can't negotiate a private sale.
I think like when we have a retreat, I think those are a lot of great questions that need to be answered because I'm gonna be honest, when I had this onboarding as a chair, I became aware of a lot of things. And I'm gonna be honest as well, I think we're disconnected. A lot of boards are working amongst themselves or were in the past years. And I don't feel like that's in the best interest of everybody in Forest Park. So I hope when we schedule that retreat, we can all come together and and take it as a win for Forest Park and whatever happened in the past happened and not take it where certain egos were competing or this is our board, this board, because we all live here. We want good things for our city. So I think some of these questions that Miss Lois Wright has are really good because I didn't generally know some of those things. And I really want to become aligned. Like we just create a policy for this agenda. We need to make sure that we're creating things in the future that, keep us away from those egotistic individuals that can come here and throw everything off.
Each of those has a unique purpose.
Mhm.
Wow. And effective, I don't mean to speak for you.
Please go on.
Development is using the right tool, right purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
Okay, one more thing. I have another question. Now, the state gives training that you go downtown and you have a whole day for development authority.
Mhm.
Right? Are we gonna be signed up for that?
Yes,
Mhm.
very immediately. Yes. So for our 3 new board members that were sworn in this evening, and for our 4th, that hopefully we'll be able to get her sworn in very soon. Yes, we will. I think we've already pulled dates of when the next trainings are, but we'll follow up with you and get you registered for your mandatory development authority training.
Okay. Next item then, project update 850 Main Street.
So I'm going to ask for a point of privilege. I would like to talk about the board retreat first, and then I would like to talk about 850 through in the full economic development update, if that's okay.
can we do 767?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry. We got way off, didn't we? Sorry. We were talking about Pressway. Number 4.
Five. 760, 770 Main Street, that's the property that we have had under contract to Crestwood Development. That's the mixed use affordable housing project.
Where the old theater used to be.
Yes.
And at last month's meeting, that just again, for background for the new board members, that was an affordable housing project in which the developer was seeking low income housing tax credits for the development of their project. They sort of missed the cut by being the first one out.
Yep.
Last one in. So they did not get their tax credits the last go around. They do these annually. They asked us to extend the contract to allow them to reapply for tax credit. This year, there were several areas in which they felt they could get additional points. One of which was the fact that this year, Forest Park is a part of the Georgia Housing Initiative, GIC, and being a GIC city, if the city so desires to give them a letter, they get extra points for that. So at the last meeting, the board approved extending the contract for 1 year to allow them to pursue their application again this year. And so I have for you, an amendment to the contract. All it does is extend the time for them to obtain the low income housing tax credits to December of 2026 and extends the closing until June of 27, which is, we've just pushed everything back 12 months in the contract. So the board approved the extensions at the last meeting, but I need an authorization for the chairman to sign the amendment to the contract.
All right, so we need a motion to approve the contract.
Motion to authorize the chairman to sign the amendment to the contract.
All right.
You have a question?
No,
Motion. Okay.
Motion by Ms. Ronda Wright and second, Victoria? Second by Victoria Hood. All in favor?
she didn't say the motion was, she said our motion.
I got it.
Look, you ain't gonna be right today with that North Plain jacket, ma'am, so.
You need coffee, but Chairman.
Yes, all in favor? Aye. All right. So, eight,
Yeah.
8:50 now, next, I think.
All right, so, but I'm asking, I want to talk about the board retreat first, because I want
Okay.
to talk about 850 as part of the full economic development update, if that is okay.
Yep.
So the board retreat, it has been a minute since the board has had a full retreat. The staff is making a couple of recommendations. One, we are recommending that the board do a one-day retreat sometime in the April or May, or as early as possible. We know that March is a little too soon. We are polling some dates. I need a little bit of guidance from you in terms of what format you would like. Do you want to do it here? Do you want to take it off-site? But April or May is the time frame that we're looking at for a one-day Development Authority Board retreat. Additionally, we are doing the same process with all of our boards. And so looking at doing a joint retreat, it's been about 2 years now, 2 years since we've had a joint retreat across the DA, DDA, and URA. And looking at our proposal is a joint retreat across the three boards early fall. One, I need some guidance on if April or May, and as well as which you would like to, where you would like that to happen.
Yay. It could either be here or downtown.
No, the downtown is just for your development authority training. That's separate from, that's separate. Yes, yes, ma'am. This is just a retreat for this board. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
April, is May, this month.
Right.
Was the end of it.
If it's one day, I'd rather be here. We can
Okay.
provide lunch for
We can
everybody.
definitely
And,
do that.
I do just, encourage everybody to be here so we can talk about all these things. Sometimes the only time we see each other is in these meetings. So I think it's important to align our vision to everything to attend the retreat. So let's look at whatever dates are more convenient to everybody.
Kirby.
Information is just information I saw today. I saw an article that said that the school system's new facility
Mhm.
long
Mm-hmm.
and in March,
Mm-hmm.
it would have space available
Yeah.
for conferences and
Hmm.
retreats.
Only if we knew a board member.
And they're doing tours.
Only if we knew somebody.
I
that
know,
was on the
only
board.
if there was somebody that could make that
Somebody
ask.
with some strings.
So what we will do, we will go back, staff will go back and poll some dates for April.
Yeah, 'cause we should-
We will send out a poll to you, what's it called, a doodle poll to you for you to vote on some dates. I do have one other question though. For the April timeframe, is there a particular day of the week that works better? Is a Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday,
I just hope it's after April 15th.
after April 15th? Okay, I got it. I'm writing down all the requests. So after April 15th, potentially a Monday or a Tuesday, not council, not board meeting.
Yeah,
No, every day,
Alan, I don't know. Monday's crazy. You like Mondays like that?
huh?
You like Mondays? You like to get out the way? Oh,
Right, restaurants close on Mondays.
that makes sense.
Yours is closed on Monday too.
It's in the food court.
Mhm. All right, so right now I've got after April 15th, maybe a Monday or a Tuesday, but then I also heard Wednesday, but then no, not Monday. Yeah, it would be like an all-day retreat and possibly a Saturday. Okay, so why don't I do this? Staff will go back. We will look at some dates. We will consult the city calendar to make sure that we're not conflicting with anything else and all the other events that we have going on in the city. After April 15th, we will get a email out to you for you to vote. And then once we set on a date, then we can start to plan the agenda for the retreat. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So moving on, I'm going to ask staff, I've got a couple of different things to pull up this. Thank you. And so I've put together what's coming around to you right now. Ms. Duvalda is going to pull up the economic development update. But before I go through this, some of this you're going to hear twice, but I've put together just a quick memo format of some of the big bucket things going on with the Development Authority. So one of the things that we approved or that you approved at your last meeting was we understand that there has been some somewhat out of alignment with our board terms. And so Attorney Glaze had put together a proposal for you. You voted on this at the last meeting. He will come forward with putting together a resolution for us to put on the council agenda. We're looking at putting this possibly on the March 16th agenda for council's consideration and approval. But essentially it is re-swearing in all of the board members at one time and resetting the dates in staggered terms. Do you want to explain this a little bit more for our new people?
Georgia law that creates the authority provides specific terms and a specific staggering of those terms. You're a 7-member board, so 4 of you are to rotate off every 2 years. Somehow, over time, those terms have gotten all out of kilter. We got people that rotate, some rotate off, and then the next year some others rotate off, and then the next year. So what I have recommended is that the mayor and council reappoint everybody, but reappoint them for those terms that puts it back in that staggered term. So that, for example, and I haven't sat down and figured up, but those that were just appointed would be appointed for a 4-year term. Those who are serving, having already been appointed in the past, their terms may be up for reappointment, depending on what the standard. It's to get us back in compliance with how the law provides. And the only 2 ways to do it: either you have to go back all the way and find the original appointed resolution and then trace everybody through, figure out who got out of whack, or you just reappoint everybody at one time. What most likely happened is that the law provides that if a new board member has not been appointed at the expiration of your term, you continue to serve until that new board member is appointed. But that new board member is not appointed for a full term. They're appointed to serve whatever is the remaining term you've been holding over. So I'm sure at times there were probably board members that continued on, and then there were later appointments, and the appointment was for a full 4 years when it should have maybe only been for 3 years. So this simply help clean that up. It's just out.
Thank you. You have in your packet, or it has come around to you, this spreadsheet that shows you the properties that are currently owned by the Development Authority. Yeah, it's not in your packet, right there. That blue and green, there you go. So we own, the Development Authority, as I said, owns 14 unique properties, most of which are largely concentrated in our downtown Main Street district. Two of your properties, as we said before, 794 Main and the 76770 lot are both under contract. 850 Main, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, is in the final stages of renovation for lease. We do have a tenant there right now, which is the dentist. He's been a long-term tenant. I'm also going to talk about him. We are also considering plans for potentially a pop-up food truck park or a permanent food truck park at 842, which is the vacant lot, the raised lot right next door. But allowing staff to do a little bit more research and due diligence on exactly how we can potentially do that. 670 Main is an undeveloped lot. It's right there on Main Street. It's right next to the church. The church has been using it for parking and for distributions. We do have, and they've been using it for years for free. We do not have an agreement with them. We do have a lease that our attorney crafted several months ago. You approved us moving forward. So staff will be moving forward with, having some sort of negotiation with the church next door about continuing to use that property for it's a minuscule amount of what we're asking. But those are we are trying to sell it. But at the same time, what we're looking at though, this was a conversation we had several months ago of should we entertain or approach them about buying it? The point is that we're looking for what is the highest and best use of that lot. It sits right on Main Street, and the highest and best use, though it's a small lot, is not necessarily a parking lot.
Yeah, but I thought at one time somebody wanted to buy that for like a duplex.
That predates me.
Because
I've never heard that. So it is out to market, trying to get people to have eyes on it, trying to recoup some measure of some income coming in from the lease of it from the church while we make plans to try to sell it for development.
Oh, so we're leasing it to the church.
Well, we haven't approached them. We haven't presented the lease yet. They've been leasing it to themselves for quite a long time.
Send the lease to them.
Yes, lease is drafted and done. Just need to sit down and schedule a meeting with them.
Is there an option for them to not lease it and continue to use it?
It's part of to put them on notice.
Mhm.
They wish to use the, they're gonna have to lease it.
Yeah.
There,
Exactly. And that's exactly. And
Mhm.
yes. And so let me be clear in how this conversation came about is that not looking at this as a moneymaker, not looking at this as being, not good neighbors with the church next door, but truly looking at this from a liability issue that our property is being used.
It's not revenue generating.
No.
I mean, it does generate some revenue.
Hmm.
The purpose of generating revenue, the purposes of making sure that they've got insurance that ensures there's some loss that occurs on that property. There's insurance to cover it. It doesn't come back on us. It's also to make them aware that we expect them to be responsible for the upkeep of the property. If they're using it for parking, they park on it in a rainy day and make ruts and all, they gotta fix them, so it's as much as anything to have a clear understanding of what their responsibilities to use the property are going to be. And there is a nominal.
I can't remember, and I might have a copy of it, something like that. Yeah, definitely. Here it is right here.
presentation that the other properties are along the same lines that use.
We don't have any other.
No, not that we're aware of. We do drive by from time to time, but none others that we have been able to determine. And the last thing I wanted to say about your property, so 4888 Evans, as we continue to think about 850 Main, that is the parking lot that sits right there on Evans Drive, right next to Miss Ann's house and Keith's house. Just thinking about what is it that we do? Do we leave it as parking? Do we not leave it as parking? But just some things to consider as we go down the road. I've talked about your pending developments. Now let me talk about 850 Main Street. So 850 Main, and in your packet, too many pieces of paper. in your packet, there is about midway through, right after the agenda schedule, there is an appraisal report. There is also a standalone printout of the appraisal that has also been placed at your packet that talks about a little bit more in comprehensive detail the valuation of 850 Main. The as-is market value of that building is 1.6 million. Prospective market value is about 2 million, a little over 2 million. And then the prospective market value upon stabilization, meaning setting comps in our area, is about 2.1. I share that with you because we, it's been well over a year ago now, this board approved renovations of that property. I'm happy to report that the renovations are largely done. The intent for that building has always been to make it a professional services building with a cafe on the bottom. The original footprint has pretty much stayed the same. If you'll remember, several years ago, public safety was in that building for quite some time, and somebody else, I don't remember who else was in there. Correct. But the footprint is still the same. The cafe or the space in the front has been completely redone. Yes, ma'am.
Upstairs, is that
The ballroom is still there. Yes, ma'am.
being rented out?
Well, it has not been rented out as of yet. So one of the things I do want to talk about, so since that building is now owned by the Development Authority, it is staff's recommendation. Recreation and Leisure manages the rental facility of 696 and a couple of other properties that we have. The Development Authority would need to enter into an IGA or expand on our IGA, our current one, to have Recreation and Leisure be the department that would manage the rental of that property. We have put together, and I'm sorry for all of the paper. While I'm talking about the paper, I'm gonna pivot for a quick second. So one of the things that we are doing, and hopefully we will have this ready for you by next month's meeting. So we print an egregious amount of paper every month for all of our board meetings, a lot. So we have had a series of meetings with our IT department. They are helping us come up with a access only shared site specific to your board that you will have access to log in and see all of this stuff in digital format. So as we are prepping for the meeting, all of that stuff will live there. We will do a full rollout in training of how to access it, but this will eliminate a lot of the paper. We will still have, for those of you like me that I still like paper, we will have table copies of at least the full packet, but going forward, this will be accessed electronically. The other thing that we are doing is we are looking at, I think we've identified a tablet through IT that the Office of Economic Development will keep. We will have 7 of them. You will have access to it at the meeting. You're not going to leave the building with the tablet. You will have it here. You will log in. You will see all the things, and then we will take it back up at the end of the meeting. So hopefully that will facilitate all of this in a little bit more of a streamlined and easy way. So again, apologies for the paper. What you have in front of you is a draft rental agreement. I need to send it over to Attorney Glaze to take a look at. I know that there's a whole bunch of liability stuff that we need to work through. But this is similar to the rental agreements that the city currently uses, but we need to fine tune it for the rental of the ballroom. The other thing with the ballroom is that currently we do not have tables or chairs. And so we don't have any of that because before it was a city building. So the tables and chairs were shared amongst all of the city buildings. And so we need to consider, and we will, work with Director Maxwell on this, but, having tables and chairs available as well as audiovisual equipment, because I believe the AV equipment that was there is no longer there.
There, but it needs to be.
It needs to be serviced. It's very old. Yes, ma'am.
Is this for these rates that we're looking at right now?
Mhm.
Just for being a citizen in Forest Park, or is other people outside we need to look at?
We can definitely, I'm open to suggestions. We can most definitely do a Forest Park resident rate and then a non-Forest Park resident rate. I think we are completely open to your recommendations and then looking at, market industry standard for event rental space.
Seen, for example, like a, percentage off if you live in the city? Percentage off some people do like nonprofit rate.
Mhm.
Have to.
We can definitely do that. So let me make myself a note. It-
License and go through the fire, it's not displayed. I believe it was a couple, maybe 100 and something. But until we get the CO and do all of that officially, then we'll have to.
Then we know exactly how many.
From what my experience is catering, how many 10 tops can I fit in there?
You can buy five,
Five?
6, 10.
About 60.
Yes.
Right, for seated dining.
Um,
High boys, you could probably do 100 to 150.
80 to 100 people.
Correct.
I had a party up there
Mhm.
and it was 150 people. And there was plenty of space.
Mhm.
You know, hardwood floors. At the time we had tables.
Mhm.
And then the section where the catering was up there along the line, with my L-shaped line.
Is there an elevator in that building?
Yes. So
The,
the issues
that's, that ball that's able to be used or
is because of the elevator.
elevator that had to be resolved.
Correct.
That's
So we did have,
had it.
yeah. So we did have, and again, making sure that the building is ADA compliant. So we have to have the elevator fully operational. We did, yes, ma'am.
Okay, now in the, I hate to pick it up like this, but other recreation, they manage it,
Mhm.
they never gave us any money.
Well, and I'm thankful. I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to be the bad guy. Thank you, Miss Lois. So one of the things that we're looking at is, again, is we fine tune the rental offering, and expanded or updated IGA with the city of, is there a profit sharing? Because understanding that we need to make the city whole, because using city staff and resources to man the building. But also, is there a percentage? What's the split on the rental that could come back to the development authority?
Remodel.
Yes,
Is there a kitchen in there, I assume?
it's a prep kit. The cafe is set up not as a kitchen. It's really a prep warming type. No grease trap, but there will be a grease trap. So that's part of the ongoing. We have to have a grease trap. We have to have a grease trap. There is no hood. No. Mm-mm.
Upstairs,
Downstairs.
there.
Downstairs.
Oh, change downstairs. It's
Yes.
And
It's
all right, it's already finished.
it is finished.
at a cafe.
Yes, it's already made into a cafe. So whenever you want, call me and I'm gonna take you over there. We got keys. It's beautiful. Beautiful lights and everything. So let me get through this real quick because I promise I'm not gonna try to hold y'all all night. We got a lot to talk about. So we did our initial walkthrough with our fire marshal earlier this week, yesterday. He gave us a grade of B. So I am happy with the B that we got. So, and we now have a punch list of some things that we know that we have to work through. Most notably the elevator. We need to install new locks because they're individual suites now. So we have to change the types of locks that are on them. Update the restroom signs, obviously. We do need to look at, and then the biggest thing too is scheduling we're waiting on the health department to schedule a walkthrough with them so they can look at it. There are some of the outlets that we know that we need to change in the cafe because they need to be the GF, what is it? GF, yeah, that. So there's some minor things that need to be done. Hopefully within the next week or so, we can have a final punch list with costs associated with it. Some of as we look at full occupancy of the building, some of what we consider the common area maintenance things that we need to think about are Wi-Fi for the building, particularly for the common area, janitorial service, trash service, any landscaping, exterior signage, and signage, for each unit that can be just have an insert that can drop in as they leave. And then, of course, excuse me, the utilities for the building. Yes, and security. Thank you, and security. So we anticipate hopefully by next month we can have a full detail and kind of work through the final pieces of this. We do have lots of calls out for the outstanding work that needs to be done so that we can move forward. So, but our fire marshal feels pretty confident in giving us a B and that we should be able to work through the remaining stuff and get it to a place of occupancy very soon. Questions? And then I talked a little bit about the ballroom rental. Again, you have the rental application. I don't expect you to give comment on it now, but please take the time, read through it, call me, shoot us an email with your thoughts or your feedback about the application. I most definitely will be in council with our council as we finalize this. And then again, the MOU or the expanded IGA with the city to manage it. And then the other pieces, as I said, are the tables and chairs, AV equipment, and then if we want to supply any kitchenette equipment. There is a small prep kitchen upstairs. It does have a hood for a, caterer to come in and set up to be able to serve. But
It was just in there,
it was in there at one point.
dishwasher in there.
Uh-huh,
When we talked to the fire marshal, he just said, go ahead and remove it since we're not gonna put another.
exactly.
Back there, it'll only be a prep.
They removed it.
Mhm. That's still on there. It needs to be removed. It needs to be removed. And so, and I'm also happy to announce we have 3 tenants right now that are interested in the cafe space. They're waiting on us. And so they keep calling. So I think that we will be able to rent it out fairly quickly after working through the final things that need to work through for occupancy.
I'm sorry, can we ask a question?
What's your question? Go ahead. Listen,
I got excited
listen.
too.
What? You want to come
I'm
up and do
sorry.
public comment? Come on, come on.
I'm sorry, no, that. Y'all are so funny. No, that just got me excited about the cafe. So I was wondering, like, could you give a hint about who it is? Like, is it a big company, small company? Like, okay.
Yeah, a little bit. And I'm not gonna tell you everything because I need something to, So we do have we have 2 coffee shops that are interested in the space, or coffee purveyors that are interested in the space. And then we also have another that's more of a sandwich pastry, warm beverage, smoothies, and pressed juice type. Yes. No. All local. But wait. No, I'm making a liar of myself. So I can't tell you who yet. So we do have a national coffee franchise. It's not one that y'all know. So I'm just wipe that from your brain right now. However, they are new to Georgia. They're expanding in Georgia and is very, very, very excited about coming to Forest Park. And so we're meeting, I think, next week, maybe a week after next, to drive and tour and kind of land in on where would be an ideal location for him. It may be that, it may be the Grapevine. We've got a couple of different opportunities that may fit for them, but they are a national franchise.
Downtown.
The Rite Aid, the old Rite Aid building.
Whose purview is that?
That is the Urban Redevelopment Agency that owns that building. It was previously owned by the city.
Did we both get to go in the building or that's something y'all did?
Not this board, but we will take your recommendations.
I'm talking about-
Oh, yes, absolutely. It is your building. Yes. Before we sign any lease, we will present to you. We will have the potential tenant come and do a full presentation to the board. Hopefully they'll bring snacks for you as well. For you to then, answer questions or ask questions, vet them, and then ultimately the decision is yours into who you want to lease to. Good? Okay. Good. All right. All right. So 842 Main Street. So I'm going to ask my attorney. Can I talk about this publicly?
Yeah.
Okay. So 842 Main is the dentist. He's been a long-term tenant there. We signed a new lease with him in March of 2025. The lease amount is $1,850 a month. The long and short is that he is in arrears on his rent. We have reached out several times now. He owes about $20,000 in back rent. However, we have reached out. I know that Attorney Glaze has reached out to their attorney. I also know that the Chairman Gutierrez has also reached out to them as well. He has 10 days and the clock is ticking because I think we're probably at day 8 right now.
And he has indicated to the chairman that he does wish to.
Yes,
And so, the only question we got, I have not heard back from his attorney.
okay.
Is what he worked through his attorney or work directly.
Mhm.
But if he wants to catch it up, he's got to do it in a shorter term.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be monthly, he's gonna need to pay every weeks or something.
Mhm.
We gotta catch this up.
Yes.
Continuously working at this.
I mean, didn't we just?
Yes.
We
Yes.
came to a good agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, I'm trying to find out why is it so far in this kind of debt? We just had this.
Well, he had made a few payments and then he made a payment that unfortunately was returned. We reached out to him and didn't really get a response. So hence our attorney stepped in.
Fees or are we?
This is not,
This
this is just his rental payment.
Something that we're gonna be doing from this point on? and- Uh-huh.
well, I started to say his lease provides, but I'm not sure it does. I'd have to go back and look at some of the
I don't think so. I don't think so.
lease, but
I can definitely check, but I don't think it does.
visions for holding up. I know that may not have put a late fee, in the lease document itself. But yeah, this has got to be resolved fairly quickly.
Mhm.
Get rent up or we're gonna have to evict it.
Has this happened before? Because he's been
Yes.
long. Has he?
Unfortunately, this has happened before and we were able to work out the issues and he was able to bring it current. So,
He had a history of being current,
Yeah.
then he had a lag. Then he started catching up and now he's lagging again.
mhm.
Don't know if it's a business situation where it's not generating the revenue or he's not using it as much or whatever, but whatever that may be, we he either has to pay rent or he needs to go.
I think also I want to add, I think we should, just make sure we have our policies in place for the new building.
Mhm.
Where we're not in this situation again. After a few months, we can't be going.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the current lease doesn't have provisions and policies already put in place?
Well, he's in the policy list. We kick him out right now.
Mhm.
But we'd rather have money.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is there, when we do leases, is it common that we don't add late fees in?
That's the only
It's the only lease that y'all have.
animal
Mhm.
that we've got leased. No, normally it would be common to include one.
Late
Your may have messed up. a
Late
little.
fees and attorney?
Yeah, oh, there. Trust me, but, yeah, normally what you would have is that if rent is not paid by a certain date, then there's a late fee that attaches that.
Mhm.
I'm just not sure I put that provision.
Mhm.
Is this the property you said was recently remodeled as well?
Yes. And his space was also part of that remodel, just the exterior. Mhm. Correct.
Yeah, he has basically one quarter of that building,
Mhm.
ground floor, one side.
Mhm.
And so we were able to do, the remodeling was able to be done without even shutting him down. But we didn't do anything to the interior.
And the rest of the building's empty?
The rest of the building's empty.
I will say, when I went over there to talk to him, he wasn't there, but I called the number on the door and he did apologize for that. And he said he does want to come back current. He said he's been here for over almost 20 years.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
one of his, good offices or whatever. He's only here a few days a week.
Correct.
The dentist, but we'll see. I told him that it's just not, he needs to be communicating.
Yeah, and all candor, we're not really set up to be this board and staff is not set up to be a property management company. And as much as anything, it was probably because nobody was hounding him and calling every, 2 weeks, like if you had a broker that was handling the
Mhm.
commission or, we, as we move forward, one of the things the board needs to decide is, do we want to outsource that? Do we want to bring in a real estate agent who handles those leases? So it's easy when the tenants do what they're supposed to. It only gets hard when and I say that having managed property.
Mhm.
It only gets hard when the tenants don't do what they're supposed to, and that's when you wish you had somebody else to take care of it. But one of the things we'll need to decide is do we want to do that, or do we want to outsource that and have a properties management company manage it?
Alright.
This would take care of a lot of the,
A lot.
a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So finances. So the staff, as you, well, let me give a little bit of background in history. So probably since I've been here, and I've been here almost 3 years now, the Development Authority had moved its money outside of the city. So currently, the finances for the Development Authority are not managed by the finance department here. Staff is currently working with the city finance team to move all of our funding or finances back into the city. With board approval, the Department of Finance will serve as the treasurer for the Development Authority, as they do for the URA and the DDA. We are in process with this right now, and we hope to have this process completed by April 1st. We also currently use Marshall Jones as the Development Authority accountant. There have been some issues with getting timely reporting from them. The last report that we got was November. And so as we work through this process of bringing all of your finances back into the city, once we are complete with that, we will terminate our contract with Marshall Jones. And again, this Office of Finance will serve as the treasurer for the Development Authority.
Any way to get refunded or something from your expectations?
Contract that say that.
Yeah,
And I don't know that we get in the contract.
I don't know. I can look and see, but I don't know that we do. I do not know that we do.
Yeah, he's asking some type of effort because I was disappointed with them.
Yeah.
Their lack of doing their job.
Mhm.
What's the
So,
accounting for? Just us?
Yeah.
and yeah,
We took
we took everything out of the city.
firm and
Why?
bank account.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why real quick. I'm gonna give the high level version. Before I do that, let me talk about your revenue. So you get about 1,400 or so a month in a billboard ground lease. So there's a billboard company that sends a check faithfully every month, or it's basically a ground lease on one of our properties, the billboard that they have on it. Yep. We also have, again, the dentist payment of $1,850 a month. And then, but really right now, that's your only consistent revenue that comes in. Now, once the Prestwick development closes, that's $300,000 that will come into your bank account. And once the GUCA, or Georgia Utility Contractors Association, closes, it's another $130,000 that will come into your account. The challenge with that is that neither of those have happened as of yet. And so that brings me to the pilot payment. So the pilot payment is a payment in lieu of taxes. This is the Kroger pilot payment that we receive. That payment is not to the Development Authority. It is a pass-through. It comes to the Development Authority, and Kirby, hold me honest. It comes to the Development Authority, passes through us, and goes to the city each year. And I believe that this is supposed to go until 2029.
I'd have
I have a look.
29.
At least 2020, maybe even longer than that. So the issue is because this board expended money to do the renovations for 850 Main, banking on being able to close the 794 property as well as the 76770 property. The pilot payment hit and has come through the bank account. What we have asked, Attorney Glaze prepared a memo and went to the city manager so that not to deplete the Development Authority funds while we're waiting on these two properties to close, to pay the city the $1 million and then make the final payment of the 200 some odd thousand dollars at closing once these two properties close, or once the GUCA property closes.
If I could, just
Mm-hmm.
little more background on the Kroger pilot payment. That all
stem from the, closing of Fort Gillum, and the purchase of Fort Gillum by Forest Parks,
Sorry.
and Kroger was the first big project over there. And, part of what was negotiated, at that time was that Kroger, a pilot payment is a payment in lieu of taxes. The authority actually owns that facility that Kroger is in, they lease it from the authority, but that a lease that is paying off the debt, and ultimately that property will go back to Kroger, but while it's owned by the authority, they're not paying taxes on it. So they make a payment in lieu of taxes. That payment is made to the development authority. But because at the time, the city was guaranteeing the debt of the Urban Redevelopment Agency for purchasing that property from the Department of Army, as well as putting in infrastructure over there, roads and things that had to go in. The authority, the development authority, agreed to transfer that pilot payment from the authority to the city to go to a special account that the city was to maintain for purposes of paying down that debt that they had incurred. What has happened over the years, well, in turn, the city entered into an agreement with the Urban Redevelopment Agency, whereby the Urban Redevelopment Agency was to report to the city each year on what had been expended, what had been paid down, what debt there was, what improvements had been made. Over the years, somewhere along the way, that system just broke down. And that money wasn't going into that special fund, and
Where was it going?
into the general fund of the city. To my knowledge, the Urban Redevelopment Agency wasn't making the reports back to the city. What's happened is a whole lot of things in terms of what's gone on at Fort Gillum. There's been a bunch of new projects. I even think that at some point the Urban Redevelopment Agency refinanced some of that debt a few years ago. But there's never been a reckoning or reconciliation of all of that. So, you know, we've provided that information to the city manager. We've asked that we've been doing what we were supposed to do, sending them the money every year to give us some leeway right now, but hope to find a point in the future where we can all sit down and try to reconcile, because the authority literally gets nothing from the project.
The URA gets that money, right?
No, it goes to the city. Well, yes.
My guess is that what has happened, and I'm just because I've seen it happen in other jurisdictions, my guess is the city was, whenever they needed to, was paying on that debt out of city funds, and they were taking money from the Kroger payment and just putting it back in the city funds, rather than creating a special fund out of which they would pay debt, because the concept was at some point that debt would be gone.
Right.
And
Yeah, well, the debt is paid off.
Not,
April 2024.
it's not.
yeah. So the original reason for that money to be going to the city isn't necessarily there anymore. But there's never been an accounting of all of that.
Or a renegotiation of how the funds are distributed. Yes, ma'am.
So you say, the Fort Gillum is paid.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Beyond the city of Forest Park owns
Yes.
space.
Urban redevelopment. And we actually don't own whatever's left. We don't own very much land out there anymore.
Yeah, because, David.
We,
on the property. and he-
well,
Well,
he,
David Welch didn't own the property.
he did not.
he had-
He was the master developer. But the Urban Redevelopment Agency has sold as of April of 2024. We had a big, huge party out at Gillum where we celebrated paying off the debt to the United States Army in full.
Right.
In April of 2025, the URA sold the remaining 150 plus or minus acres of buildable land out there. We being the URA, still own some remnant lots out there, land out there, but we don't really own much land out there because there really isn't anything left.
Wow, we were supposed to have something for where the rec center was gonna have some kind of, what is it, some kind of skateboard park? They set that up over there?
No.
Back where the picnic area was?
That's all Blue Star, or not.
Yeah, that's now, yeah, exactly. That's now Scanal. Scanal.
So,
It's been sold.
Wow,
Hmm.
wow.
So the long and short is that Gillum is done. And really what I want to focus on, and with your permission, would like to move forward.
So, all right, they paid for it. So now, with Kroger's paying,
Hmm.
who are they paying? Okay, they're paying the development authority. So now we gotta pay, cause now what is that?
Well, we have an agreement with the city.
Correct.
That over to the city.
That goes to the city.
Kinda crazy.
that, Ms. Lois. even
Yeah.
when
you-
you look like-
Hmm.
Yeah,
Development authority.
you
Yeah.
did.
You did.
You already, you too.
That agreement
Has been in place for exactly of those bonds.
So, so the rent from Kroger's, Amazon, Technique Concrete.
We don't, we get,
no rent.
No,
no.
no,
For the DDA, I think, right?
yeah, because
Hmm.
the
The
authority
city is getting the rent. Somebody get that money in the city, right?
Yeah.
on each of those transactions, what happens is that an entity, the first one was development authority, issues the bonds to fund that transaction, and the lease payments made by the person using it go to pay off those bonds.
Mhm.
So when Kroger built, the authority issued,
30 million.
it was more, than I think, it's more, yeah, but anyway, it was
It's 30 million.
to build that Kroger facility. Kroger doesn't actually pay rent to the authority. They pay a trustee who uses that money to pay off those bonds of the authority. So none of the funds from rent from those facilities comes to the authority. It goes to pay off debt. And at the end of that, those entities, Kroger, Amazon, those places own their
Hmm.
facility.
Hmm.
It goes-
We get no revenue from them.
Well, we're not getting any revenue now. But each time an authority, traditionally, each time an authority does a transaction of that nature, they get some fees for doing that. They may be fees like a bank charges
Yeah.
are paid at the closing, or they may be fees that are paid over time, like administrative fees. We don't get any fees from that because there were none provided for in the Kroger transaction. After the Kroger transaction, the city expanded the boundary of the Downtown Development Authority to include Fort Gillum. And now the Downtown Development Authority is issuing bonds.
Correct.
Well,
Not the development.
And then, so let's just, that is, I love history lesson, and we definitely can have this conversation. I just want to focus it back to where we're at now.
Mhm.
and What we're gonna do, because
Mhm.
moving forward, we could potentially pitch to the city and say, we're your development arm. For the development authority, it's not like we're taking the money and doing, playing with it. We want to bring things to
Mhm.
the park. There's no longer a debt. can we have some of this? So I think that's a great idea to bring forward to our city, especially now with budget coming up, since I don't know how many years are left of this payment, but you know, give us some of this. And then also Kirby proposed about the intergovernmental agreement where, I mean, there's technically not a lot of land left over there, but anything that's left needs to be divided amongst the boards, and everything shouldn't be going to the Downtown Development Authority because, you know, they haven't really been focusing downtown. Yeah, I haven't seen anything downtown.
Yeah. This is, it's a new day
Mhm,
part.
mhm.
Sit down and make sure we're using the right tools to do the right
Correct.
thing, and that it's not
Okay,
doing it the way.
one final,
The agreement.
let's get one, please, one understanding.
Is it a bond, it's a binding,
It's, yes.
There are terms in there that none of the parties have been abiding by.
so in fact, if we're not to send the payment at all, then it would maybe force them to come back to the table to talk about what.
Yeah, it's the city and we're all under the.
Mm,
No, but
right, right. Ms. Lois, what's your question, sweetheart?
Wondering, at some point, don't they get paid off? All right? Okay. We have, that base is paid full. So now, I'm just trying to find out, are the city or the board, are we getting money from those tenants out there?
You are potentially getting money in the form of pilot funds.
Mm-hmm. For Kroger. Mm-hmm.
Pilot funds were paid in lieu of taxes, or depending on how some of those transactions were done, those tenants may be paying some or all of the ad valorem tax, the property tax on that property that anybody else pay. I couldn't tell you because there are different ways to do transactions, and I was not involved in any of them. But you can structure them so there's no taxes. You can structure them so there's taxes that start at a lower and the term of the lease. My guess is some of both of those out there.
Kirby, would it be, is this doable where we go back and say, these transactions happened, 1, 2, 3, 4, you should have given us X amount for each one of these to these other.
It is doable to sit down and look at those transactions and determine from each of those transactions who got what. And also determine from each of those transactions, had the development authority been involved in doing that transaction, what they got. Transaction.
Mhm.
Yes, that is doable.
And then, okay, I think that's what we need to focus, we can't cry about the past anymore, we need to focus and move forward and be definitely civil because all these other, that,
Yeah.
it ain't us.
Yeah.
So we gotta-
Where the money go? Where is the money?
Yeah.
Cause we had,
Just to be very candid, what need to happen for that to occur is the city would need to, I'm assuming, I don't know this is the case, but the city's financial advisor over the years has been Mr. Ed Wall. I know Ed very, very well. And I have a great relationship. But, if the city wanted to participate, that what I would need is access to all those bond documents, and from that, determine in each transaction, who's getting what and what.
Because in a way, I just think that's equitable. That's what should have happened. And right now, we're with our hands tied. I mean, and then back to 850, I'm just like, I really want an explanation of how, you know, we're in this hole. Like, I feel like the board, or at least I wouldn't have voted for 350,000 investment without having these properties, because we know the tax, the housing, the government housing, that wasn't gonna close, and if it did, it was later in the year. And this little one here, the Guco one, is 100,000, so still, it's just to make such a big, did you all, I mean, when you presented a budget to us, was that not labeled like, this is the pilot payment? I just don't understand how.
Well, goes back to the fact you've not been getting financial reports from the whoever
Mhm.
finan-
Marshall Jones.
person was.
Edward,
No,
No, Marshall Jones.
he that was
Mhm.
books for the authority.
Mhm.
how was that?
So Marshall.
Marshall Jones.
Do we need a vote on bringing everything to the city, Rochelle, or where we at with that?
I don't know that we need to vote on that. There's not, it's already in motion. I don't think it. Mhm.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that's in process. I've sent the email to the,
Mhm.
and the city manager has offered to sit down to sit down with me, but offered to sit down and discuss.
So how much money we got?
Yes.
I think it's.
All the way.
Where is it?
Okay, perfect. So next steps, I guess, is, we're gonna have I wanna bring this up sooner than later, because I know things take a long time, so you're gonna get in touch with Ed Wall, or I need to get it, like, Rochelle.
Mhm. And I can most definitely reach out to Ed.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Do you want me to reach out to Ed?
Decision, or is it a city?
It's a city decision.
It's a city decision.
City needs to, Ed works for the city, so
Mm.
if the city wishes for us to work with that process, the city needs to be the one to instruct Ed to
Mhm.
provide the info.
Right.
Since you're the guy for the DA, so we would, I guess, get Ed to work with you, and then you're gonna come up with a presentation where we can show the city. All this money went to these two boards, but you have three boards.
I can,
Mhm.
accounting, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could actually have Ed come to our
He could,
and give us
and give the full report.
as to what's going on. We could have Ed here himself.
Mhm.
It's our.
Ed
He's the financial advisor for the city,
knows it's board.
not for this board.
Okay.
He's the financial advisor for the city.
He'd come and give us a presentation.
Only if the city wants to, we can't.
Right.
Come,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
works for the city. not-
Correct.
Balance be minus $1 million, so 166,000. Take away the 1 million.
And on the city,
Yes.
at a meeting to explain it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll come.
Yeah.
That's.
Mm.
Procedure. Oh, no. So and I'm glad you're here, Mayor, to hear all.
Not right now.
A lot of stuff is not.
Okay, so I know, need to stop flailing. So we will have, yeah, again, I think we have the direction of where we need to move with this and what the outstanding actions that need to happen to set the train in motion. We will make sure that for the retreat in April after the 15th, that we will also have a pilot payment, hopefully have a much more substantive update for you by then. So I'm going to very quickly go through. Yes, Ms. Rhonda. Nope, no, pull that back up real quick. A couple of things I want to tell you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, around taking you to chair, signing everything, is that account, all that changes over? How-
Well, as it will come back into the city, that will not exist. So yes, our checks will all be managed through our finance department. Mhm. As well as finance director will then also come each month to deliver your financial report. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go. I'm sorry.
That cost to us?
No. I got to be nice to him, you know. All right. So very, very quickly. So the light pole banners, I know y'all are sick to death of me talking about it, but I promise they are coming. These are the banners that are coming. We've decided to go with 4 seasonal banners that will change out each season. We got an update earlier this week that the spring banners, I think she said spring is done, right? The spring banners are complete. Hopefully we will have delivery of those soon, and you will see the new banners going up around the city, and then they will work through each of the remaining seasons. Next slide. You do have this in your packet as well. So this is our full economic development calendar for the year. We have lots of stuff going on. This is a combined calendar that represents Office of True Economic Development events like Forest Park Business Association, et cetera, as well as our Main Street events. Our next event is Friday, this Friday, we are hosting our very first economic development roundtable, specifically for brokers and developers, here in City Hall starting at 11. Next slide. So again, as we always look at how we continue to fine tune what we do, you know, creating this Grow Your Business in Forest Park, and really just this is meant to be a public facing document, quick and easy for anybody. Scan this QR code and it can answer all of your questions around how to start a business, what properties are available for development, the business association, how to get a ribbon cutting, et cetera, et cetera. Next slide. So here's the flyer for the Economic Development Roundtable. It's a very specific reason that you have not seen this blasted all over social media. It is on LinkedIn, but it went to a cultivated private invite group of people. We want this to be an intimate gathering. Here in City Hall, we're limiting it to about 50 people. If you are available, please come and join us. We do have complimentary lunch is provided, and some really great, very intentional questions around development and specifically what are the hurdles or challenges, and really wanting to understand what the obstacles are that are stopping people from moving forward with development. The groundbreaking ceremony for the Grapevine, it will be held on Friday, March the 6th at 11 a.m. Please join us right at the old Rite Aid. It's a groundbreaking, not a ribbon cutting. The building is not done. The interior has been completely gutted. But it's an opportunity. You will see some renderings, et cetera, but really to celebrate in earnest this milestone project that has been in works for quite some time. Next slide. A couple of quick updates. Our next Business Association breakfast will be on April the 22nd. We are excited that our film Forest Park is slowly eking along or picking back up. We kind of all experienced a hard stop to filming really all around Georgia. In the past week or so, we had 21 Savage. I don't know who that is. 21 Savage filmed a music video here in Forest Park. And then we have Pusha T. I also don't know who that is. So I have my staff that keeps me young. But Pusha T that is looking to film and is doing a music video here coming up very soon. GIC, as Attorney Glaze talked about a little bit ago, we are getting ready for our housing retreat. We do have a housing committee of 10 members. There is a spring retreat as well as a fall retreat. More information to be coming about GIC as we start to dig in deep. The Clayton County Housing Collective, we actually met earlier today. It's a kind of a little bit of everybody that does any work around housing and housing development in the county. So again, look for some more information coming from that. And then we do have, I'm jumping all over the place, but we do have continued conversation about the City Plaza blight. If you'll remember, staff kind of through an inter-cooperation amongst multiple departments, sat down, did a full assessment and data collection, and have to publicly thank Councilman Gutierrez for kind of giving us the initial push to get this going. So we've kind of worked through the initial phase of what a plan looks like, how to identify, you know, our properties and how we start to address blight, specifically looking at our large commercial shopping plazas, largely down Jonesboro Road. But we do have a follow-up meeting tomorrow, so I will have more updates for you in our March meeting. Next slide. A couple other things that I want to talk about very quickly, and before I forget, I have to publicly shout out Miss Sharice Clay. She's my little hard-headed grasshopper, but I could not be more proud of her. She has been invited to serve on the Clayton County CTP Community Council Committee, and she has accepted. So I'm very excited to have her represent the Office of Economic Development and the City of Forest Park. And I promise y'all, I had nothing to do with this. So they reached out to her directly. So I'm very, very proud of her and that opportunity that's been presented for her. We are continuing work with our consultant on the impact fees assessment. This is a joint project between economic development, but planning and community development is really leading the charge on that. Next slide. A couple of pending projects that are going on. Carter on Scott. That's at Zero Scott Road. There are 17 single-family homes. Their LDP has issued, they are turning dirt. And I believe they have also cleared erosion control. So excited that that project is finally moving in earnest. Cherry Street, as I keep talking about, if you have not driven by, please go do so. Those are 6 single-family homes right there on Cherry Street, right across from Star Park. The roofing company continues to work through their settling their headquarters here in the industrial side of 564 Main Street. And then Jonesboro Road, the 3953 Jonesboro Road, it is a gas station, but it is not just a gas station. They also have commercial out parcels built in. The owners are working very closely with trying to secure a Chipotle for that location. And we've also had some conversation as we've had continued conversation with our Smoothie King franchise that is looking to land here as this being a potential location for them as well. Next slide. Couple of bigger projects that are going on. I want to highlight the Aerotropolis catalytic site. So Aerotropolis, which is our regional partners in all things economic development, they had identified a site here in Forest Park. It is Forest Station. Yes, thank you. Forest Station. Forest, is it Square? It's Square is the other one. Forest Square. I get them mixed up all the time. As a catalytic site. In the past 2, maybe 3 weeks, we have toured 4 different development groups that they have brought to the table about a potential purchase and a complete redevelopment. The owner of that property is also at the table. We had, kind of started this project a couple of years ago, and then it stalled for a long time. And we were very excited to have the owner reach back out to us and said he's interested to continue conversation. So as we move forward with that, I will most definitely keep you engaged. Next slide. That's you. Keep going. I think we have talked to death everything that y'all got going on, and this one as well. Keep going.
I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Your 770 bill. That bill, well, I'm thinking of 770. Those buildings that I had rented out to.
751, 771.
What's going on?
So I'll tell you very quickly. So that property was initially owned, thank you. It is now Nouveau on Main. So the property at one point, I believe, was owned by the Development Authority. The property became owned by the Downtown Development Authority. And in March of last year, the DDA sold it to a private entity, which is Ebony Austin with Nouveau on Main. She was looking at doing a mixed-use development. We had a conversation with her, 2 weeks ago? About 2 weeks ago, she is expected to walk in her final plans for redevelopment on March the 11th. She is looking at bringing 2 restaurant concepts and then a mix of retail all on the bottom. But there's also a plan for the second phase, if you will, of still looking at adding some loft-style apartments to the top of the building. So adding a second story.
Just in that little spot.
There are 2 buildings. Those 2 buildings. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So more to be coming. And that's all I got. What are your questions? I know we have covered everything under and around the sun.
I had a question about the property, the Triangle property
Yes.
came to the city. I guess they got shifted to us. So what's going on?
Which triangle part over here in the park?
Bernard.
Mr. Bernard. So that property was sold to Steve Bernard 3, 4. It was longer than that, probably 4 years ago, because it was before either of us.
No, it was still when Bruce was here and Shelby was here.
But that,
He sold that property to them for about $40,000. When I had it assessed for $150,000, economic development had it assessed for $150,000, and it was sold to him for $40,000. And the deal was he was supposed to have that property up and running, all the properties in 18 months. And if he did not have it done in 18 months, it reverts back to the city. What happened to that? It's been 3 years and ain't nothing. He haven't one house is completed yet. It's been over 3 years now.
So what staff will need to do is consult with our attorney and go back to the purchase sale development agreement to see what the reconveyance clause was, if any.
Well, we actually
And I thought we had looked at this before. Mm-hmm.
Then the board agreed to extend to allow additional time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now beyond that.
He's gonna be on that time.
If I remember correct, now I have to go back and look and see. If I remember correctly, the clawback provisions were contingent upon him getting land disturbance permit, not completing the building.
Correct.
His land disturbance permit, but I'll look back at that and see.
We'll have an answer for you soon
But we didn't require the houses, we just required.
to get the LDP. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but that ain't true. We required him to have them buildings up. Look back on the.
You have any?
Look back at it.
No, sir.
And it, when it was before.
Remember, I hired you for the development, sir.
Good, but
All right. So my mic died. All right.
But does anybody have anything else they want to add or ask before we adjourn the meeting?
Thank you so much.
We don't have executive session? Perfect, okay. As my first meeting as a chair board, I really want you all to own this space. And you know, we are appointed here by the city and have the best interest of our community. Some of us are residents, some of us are business owners. So really, you know, dream big. And we want to make sure that I think with these retreats, the efforts that we're having with economic development is to bring everybody together under the same vision, where we can deliver to our people some of the things we've been promising. So, and I'm open to hear from you all with anything y'all need. I'm gonna give you my number, Alan, and everyone else has my numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, we texted in the group. Okay. So if nobody else has anything to say, can somebody motion to adjourn this meeting? All right, I got a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Everybody on the board, sir, if we could do that.
Okay. So you want to go around and maybe have some like,
I mean, I like the meeting.
yeah, I like it.
I'm Rhonda Wright.
Victoria Williams.
Daniel Allen,
Please meet you, Victoria and Daniel and Rhonda.
and in the group chat, if everybody say who their names are, I can let them know.
Yeah, for sure.
Know who they are.
And shout out to our staff. Thank you, Sharice and Miss Rochelle and Miss T. So she's our school board member. Yeah. And shout out to our mayor for sticking it out. So you see what we got, Mayor? Yeah. All right. So we got a motion to adjourn the meeting. Any seconds? Second by Ms. Rhonda Wright. All in favor? Aye. Oh my God. All right, everybody. Meeting adjourned at